All right, guys, Costa Rica leaves a lot of things up in the air. They leave a lot of things up in the air and then we don't know what they're doing. And people were asking me, whatever happened to that whole digital nomad category of getting your residency for a year or two? What's going on with those tax incentives to lure you down here to live down here and get your residency? What happened with them? They all sounded good when they came out. We're reporting on them, but what the hell happened to them? Well, we're going to be getting into that and a few other things. So we're going to be talking about this like an update. It's an update video on things you guys email me about, okay? Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency, so go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Fill out the 4-minute form. You'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime. We're like you, having best friends who live in Costa Rica, who know Costa Rica, totally hooking up your Costa Rica vacation. Hey man, I appreciate the subscribe. I really do. So when you subscribe, totally helps me. But it doesn't help you see all our videos. YouTube doesn't, just because you subscribe doesn't mean you see the videos. You've got to hit that notification bell. Then you will be notified every time we put up a video. You'll be in sequence, which we're going to get to in a second. I got a little something to say about all that in a second, but you'll be updated with our travel tips, talking to expats who live down here, talking about medical stuff and all the stuff and the entry requirements that are forever changing, all that stuff. You got to hit the notification bell. All right. Anyway, guys, it is. Come on, Mike. Oh, Thursday, December 9th. Oh man, check out this. I got a cheap, very cheap gamer chair to replace my couch that was sad. My couch my legs broke on my couch. It was sitting on the floor. It was very sad. I live a simple life, but come on, man, I have a little back issue. So I need a cheap gamer's chair, and I got one. Swivels, moves back. All right, so first off, before we get into the digital nomad stuff, the tax incentive stuff, and we do get to talk about the QR code thing, vaccine mandate thing for a second, but let's talk about rental cars first. If you're coming down to Costa Rica in the next, I would say month, maybe even January, you might be shit out of luck getting a car. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One is COVID, supply chain. I got a video about all this. And they haven't had any new car rental agencies since 2019. So if you didn't do the early bird, you're probably going to be shit out of luck getting a car. And if you do get a car, you're going to be paying some serious money for that car. And I, again, will caution you, do not go to third party like Orbitz and Expedia to get a car. Don't do it. I told you. Don't do it. You're going to be upset. So anyway, there's a lot of other places, other ways to get around Costa Rica. Don't fret too much. Sometimes I think the rental car is the best option personally, but sometimes you're in a place you don't really need a car. I would say for Tuna, unless you're, even my town, you don't necessarily need a rental car. So there's, again, other ways, but I don't want to talk about that too much. So that's the thing about the rental cars. Some of you guys are shit out of luck on that. Now, before we talk about these things, I've said this, a lot of times, and it's hard for people to kind of wrap their head around it if you don't live here. If you live here, people will, or they're going to go, preach it, Michael, preach it, tell it like it is. Guys, just because you read stuff on the latest sources of that put information out about Costa Rica, such as Tico Times and maybe your favorite lawyer, whoever you get your news from, even if it's me, just because dude, it doesn't really tell you anything. It only gets your hopes up. And that's what we're going to be talking about in a second. Just because something is said doesn't, Costa Rica doesn't know how they're going to do it. How are they going to implement it? When are they going to implement it? They are notorious for, it's not even a delay. It can be years. Seriously, it can be years before they get shit started down here on any given subject. So again, let's talk about one of them, digital nomad. Digital nomad is created for people that work on their computer, like to travel around, can do stuff out of their home. They're creating, like every other country in the world, is creating this digital nomad category. You can get your residency. You can stay here legal in Costa Rica for a year, and then you can redo it for another year. It's a digital nomad category. yes, it's going to happen, but they don't get the details out of it. How do you do it? What are we doing? Where's it going? How do we do it? Where do we sign up with that? Well, they don't know. They don't know. Now, just real quick on the digital nomad, I made a video. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video. I made a video, digital nomad versus perpetual tourist. I'm not explaining perpetual tourist right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, see that video. But I'm telling you right now, if you're thinking about coming down to Costa Rica and you're going to do this digital nomad thing, write me, and I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't be doing that. All right. Now, you don't have to listen to me. You know, you can do you, of course, but it doesn't, I mean, I see what Costa Rica's trying to do, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense until they clean up some of this other stuff. Again, I have the video that explains all this. I'm not going to go deep into it. But my point of this is, yes, they are making they have the category. You can get your residency and be a digital nomad down here. But when? How? We're waiting. All right, that's one. Number two, what the hell happened to those tax incentives? What happened to those tax incentives to lure you? You know who you are. People from Germany, people from Canada, a million people from the United States want to move down here for whatever reason. And man, there are good tax incentives, man. They want you to get your residency, so they were going to let you bring down a container full of your household goods tax-free. Not one car, 2 cars tax-free. That is freaking huge if you've ever followed how much import cars, or the import tax on cars when you bring your own car down here. But no, tax-free. They're changing the investor category. They were saying all these things, and yes, it's the president signed off. Yes. When? How? What's the details? What's the specifics? Well, guess what? They don't have them. And so, yeah, it was great when they announced it. How long ago was that? And that's what they do here. So us people that live here know that these things aren't going to happen. They may not happen for a long time. They will happen. They will happen eventually. But, Pura Vida, has its disadvantages, So mañana has its disadvantages. So, yeah, that's where that is. Now, real quick, first of all, let's go back to the notification bell that you're supposed to be hitting. Hey man, I can take feedback and I can take shit. I've been making videos for a long time. I've been called everything in the book, and that's fine. I can take it. I'm not even questioning that. But if you're gonna write me, be right. You gotta be right. I don't just make videos about the freaking vaccine mandates. Somebody goes, oh, we're getting, you guys say we're getting tired of, the vaccine mandates. Well, that's because you don't hit the notification bell. My last 5 out of 6 videos had nothing to do with vaccines or mandates or entry requirements. I had 2 expat interview videos. I made my relocation video. We were talking to the guy, forget his name, Tim, who had that surgery missed thing. So don't, be right if you're gonna, throw the stones at me, all right? And now if you hit the notification bell and you have a legit, gripe, say it. I'm cool with it. I may not answer you. I mean, don't take this wrong, but if you if you write me a certain way, okay, whatever. You hate me, I'm a dick, I know, got it. But if you give me legit feedback, I listen to legit feedback. Why wouldn't I? I love what you guys have to say, especially people that have, kept with me through thick and thin, So, and a lot of those people that like me give me feedback. I appreciate that. But they don't start out with, you're a dick. All right, man. So we got to talk about that QR code vaccine thing that they're doing, because it is, again, jumbled again. So right now, it's that whole, if you're vaccinated, you get it, if the business, the gym, the restaurant, the hotel, the adventure tour, the casino, the club wants to have 100% capacity, they need to check the QR code for you being vaccinated. If those places, casino, restaurants, bars, clubs, gyms, blah, 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 only want 50% capacity, they aren't checking the QR code, and they're letting unvaccinated people in. Now, supposedly January 8th, that's going to change as everyone's supposed to be on board with this. Well, the courts put a stay on it, but now they're not really saying anything. The court said, no, you can't really do that. We're going to talk about it. And then the government kind of came in and said, no, well, yeah, you can put a stay on it, but we're going to do this capacity 50%, 100% thing. But so supposedly January 8th is going to be kind of mandatory for everybody to be vaccinated, but not really. We don't know. And again, and I did that video, the walking around on December 3rd, and nobody seemed to be really adhering to whatever those were. Now, I would imagine, and some people wrote comments on that video, I would imagine, if I had to guess, if you were the powers that be, the ministry, or you're trying to implement and enforce this law, you're most likely going to go to the places that are the most popular. You're going to go to that club that gets the most people. You're going to that restaurant that gets the most people. I guess that's what I would do. You're just not going to go to every place. Why would you walk in a restaurant and check what they're doing if there's 2 people eating in there? A lot of stuff doesn't make sense about this stuff. Now, so a lot of you guys are kind of going, I know, but I'm coming down, January, 15th. Can I get into my hotel? Well, you could ask them, but if you can't get in that hotel, there's plenty you can get into, and you can always do Airbnbs. You think Airbnbs are checking QR codes? So a lot of stuff just didn't make sense. I don't want to get into this because I don't want to hear your guys' crap. I just want to talk about this because I don't. I just don't think it's the problem, at least in this town. And I heard from other people not. Now, maybe in San Jose you have a little problem. I don't know. I don't even think there's that big a thing, depending on what you're doing. So the whole thing was January 8th. Everybody needs to show. Remember, except for those essential businesses, grocery stores, banks, pharmacies, hospitals, clinics. But now it's kind of like they're throwing out this April date. Like April 22nd, then it's going to start. After the high season, after the tourists leave, then they're going to require, the code to get into these places. So they're throwing all these things out there, but nobody's really sure what's going on. They're not. Again, it's Costa Rica. It's hard to keep up. I try to keep you guys up. So again, when the digital nomad stuff comes out, I'll tell you. When the tax incentive stuff seems to be ironed out and they're giving out the details, of course I'm going to tell you. And I'm usually pretty good, man. I've never been more than a day late on stuff, or maybe a day and a half. And usually a couple times I've actually beat people to this punch because I know some people. So I will keep you up, man. I will keep you up. I will keep you up on whatever they're doing with the QR code and vaccine mandate stuff. So, well, that's kind of it, man. I just wanted to take those things that you've been thinking that are in there and bring them down and just say, hey, man, this is Costa Rica. You got to chill. You got to chill. If you can't chill, if you're biting at the bit, you probably shouldn't be coming down here anyway. I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. Things are going to pop up, and if you're thinking about living or traveling anywhere, you should always do your homework and research. I will put my videos up with anybody's that gives you, as honest perspective and knowledge and info that I can. Ciao. Have a good, Thursday? December 9th? Ciao.